Hey everyone, Sunday the 31st, last day of the year. We will finish it off by doing some homework to prep the next year. We have about 90 tickers, so I'm going to start. They're alphabetical, but I'm going to start with a word about the SPX, the market in general. So we've had 9 green weeks. That's a record, at least since 1970 or 71. So that's unusual. We have had 2 red days, one of which was Friday, out of, I don't know, almost 3 weeks. Definitely more than 2 weeks. So to say that the bulls are in charge is an understatement. So that puts us in the mindset of buying dips. And this is the market in front of us. We're so close to a high. And here's another important statement. We are breaking out from this is a weekly chart. Every one of these candles represents 1 week. So if this dips even just a little bit and then comes back and takes this out, the upside is like 100 points. It could be 30, it could be 102. The measured move of this pattern that looks like this in inverse head and shoulders is as tall as this. That's what the experts tell us, right? So it puts us up here in the SPX. So 100 points in the SPY, probably rounding it 1,000 points in the SPX. So we would be talking like mid to high 5,000s. And that's not for me to say that we're going there. I just wanted to tell you the upside potential. So as much as some people would hate it because it's built on a lot of hope and promises that are not new. So there's nothing new coming except the Fed said, I won't be fighting the market as much. And they haven't started that. They said they will in the future. So I think we have had a lot of this rally based on that hope. Now, the problem with it is that in the first couple of weeks, we might have things that come out that may chip away at that belief. Any little chip away at the belief might give us back half, like really quickly. So everything I say about a company that has upside potential, I want you to think that, yes, the market is rallying, higher highs and higher lows, but also it has been rallying for quite a while, a record amount of time. So everything has to work within the confines of the market. So let's say we have a pause or a dip, a 5% dip in the market, and you buy calls for next week for stock ABC. That stock may have to do it on its own, and it's not likely. Okay, so patience, and don't fight it because you hate it. I don't like it, but I'm not going to be shorting it. And the way I'm shorting, I'm leaving room for error. I'm selling call spreads up here, leaving room for error. So I don't have to be 100% correct. Okay? Technically, we do have some reasons to dip, but the bulls have been buying every dip. And let's see what happens on Tuesday, Wednesday. There's a lot of exuberance in this market, and it's hard to kill. So tomorrow night, I'll send out a more detailed video on the strategy. Okay, let's jump into these tickers. AAL is first. By the way, I'm re-recording this because the live session, the audio got corrupted, and now I have to do it again. You can see here, if I use this orange thing, which doesn't mean a lot, but it means a lot. Look at it. It was a prior problem, a breakout, couldn't hold it, broke out from it. Whoops. Broke out from it. And then that little candle matters around it, and here we are going into it. What does that mean? The rally is tall in the tooth. We should see a dip probably down to this zone of 12.5, unless they take out 15.5. So if they take out 15.5, I wouldn't be looking for 12.5, not because it's higher, because this red W would be not valid. Okay, so we can jump in lower and give you more actionable items. A rally into 1430 will probably met with sellers, so it's easier to drift lower. Easier, that's the easy way to say it. Apple, nothing wrong with the company, of course. I think it's bearish. I think it's coming down towards 182, 183, if not 175, 177. The red W needs to play out itself, and target 1 is here, target 2 is here. I think there's a lot of support inside 177.5, 178, so I wouldn't look for disasters. And the bulls are going to try to stop it at 187, 188. So support 1 is 187, support 2 is 182.5. If it rallies and it doesn't make a new high, it probably will curl back down and do something like this. And above here, of course, it's gone. It came so close to 200. I wonder why they stopped. Anyway, good company, nothing wrong with it. You just have a lot of sellers above, and the buyers are scattered below. American Battery Technology, this is not for me. I don't think the chart should help you. Look at the P&L. There's no income, all spending. If this is about EVs, I would be very leery. Do your homework, due diligence on the company itself and its prospects. ABBV, this here is not a good starting point. However, if you take out last week's highs, these are daily candles, you might end up at 162, at which point I would exit longs. These prior fails are huge. These are big, but these are huge. So sellers above 165, buy the dip into 148 would be not a bad idea, into this prior resistance area. So 147, 146, 148, there should be buyers. Accenture, I'm a fan, not up here. Definitely not up here. Wait for a dip. How long of a dip? How deep? 324. So this red thing, just like the other case, if they don't take out 369 or 368, they're probably going to try to hunt some sort of a zone down here at 312, 315. There is another target down in the 284 area, but I doubt it goes there without anything, without help from the outside market. So the markets need to collapse for that. Strong buyers below 336. You can see them right there in the cluster. Strong buyers. So not an easy short. ALB, I would not be long here. I thought it was a buy here. I didn't initiate it. We talked about it. Maybe I sent a write-up. I don't remember. But if I talked to you during the day, I definitely sent a write-up or at least message that it's viable. I don't like the P&L. I don't know how this net income goes like this and out of nowhere. So I don't know that story. Something's weird. And it's going back into 170, which was a prior fail. So I would assume sellers are lurking there. And I think it's easier to come down to 132, say, than it is to get to 155. Allegro Microsystems is precariously perched. Let me see here. I have arrows. I did have arrows. You can see them here. So it's easy for them to slip to find better footing, say around 28, 29. Not sure how easy it is to break out from 32, but if you do break out from 32, you get to 35 or 36, so be careful. Allied, that's the old GMAC. I'm very leery of banks. I will not get involved. This here was a prior huge failure at 35, 36, and another one at 38, so I think it's long in the tooth. It should fall back to 28 or 29. If I'm looking to get engaged long term, I'm patient. I'll buy the dip, maybe into 29. Hopefully, if it comes down. If not, that's okay. I can leave it go. Pharmaceutical company, the net losses are growing faster than the sales. Not my gig. Do your homework on the company itself. Technically, you have lower highs. Those are opportunities. And you have lower lows. That's a negative trend. And I don't think you have enough strong support to say, oh, this is a bottom. But it is at 140. 140 to 120 is an area of bounce. So hopefully it remains that way. If they lose 120, that's a completely different ballgame. Short term, they have a descending channel. Long term, they have an ascending channel. So it's a matter of time frames. So if I zoom in, I can see that huge sellers are in 207, 208, 209. AMD, I would just leave it alone. Look how high it is. Now people are brave. No, way too high. Last time somebody went long up here, they got shellacked. So if I'm looking to get long and just now I got the courage, that means I am not very brave and I should next time jump in early. If I'm brave, I should be brave at jumping in a little bit early than a little bit late. This is a lot of bit late. Yes, it can rally. I'm not taking it long here. Do I want to short it? I don't think so. But it's pretty far from the moving average. So say it's right here. Buy the dip. How deep? I don't know. It depends on the market. Amazon. So Amazon might have a headline like Tesla. Amazon and Tesla are probably going to have a headline, maybe Costco as well, about the holiday season for the two retailers, and Tesla about the Cybertruck. So Tesla's going to report deliveries, maybe even as early as tonight. I'm not sure if they're going to report deliveries of the pickup all by itself. So it might be good news, might be bad news. I have no clue. I haven't seen one anywhere. And I live in Tesla country. I live in Southern California. I mean, there are more Teslas than Toyotas down here. And I haven't seen one. I see Rivians left and right. I even see the Volvo, whatever it's called, Polestar. Not one truck, Cybertruck. So don't know what's going on with the Tesla. So if it comes out super strong, it might have a pop. And same with this one, Amazon. If the holiday season comes out like people spent a lot, I have a feeling that they have. So maybe Amazon would lead the way in the first quarter, or at least in January. And Amazon will be a 170 or 180. I'm not sure. It's lagging. It is an inverse head and shoulders, just like the market. Let me show you a visual of it right here. And they overcame it. So even if it dips, they come back. So Amazon might surprise us to the upside. Let's see what comes out. I know a lot of people spent online, including myself. Arista Network, great P&L. No way. No way. There's no way I'm going to get long a stock when it looks like this. Just doesn't make logical sense. Where is the fire? But it could go higher. Yeah, but you waited this long. I mean, what else do you need? At least wait for it to dip down here like it has every time it goes this far away from a moving average. Every time it goes away from the moving average, it dips. So the least I can say is I'm going to reintroduce you to this acronym, NOPE. 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 See if you can figure it out. Not an obvious point of entry. NOPE. A lot of nopes today. A lot. APPN. That's a nope for a different reason. The market cannot stop rallying, and this one can't find a floor. So do your homework on APN, and it is in the base. So if you believe in the fundamentals, and the P&L doesn't look that bad, so I don't know why it's falling like this. Figure out this part, the fundamentals, and if so, then go long against these prior lows and stop out if it goes below that. So 32, losing 33 is devastating. I can go long into 33 and 32, 35. So I can sell a put to own shares, for example. Digital Turbine, not up here, not for me. We've traded this one before. The breakout was in 550, got to 7. Huge pivot into 8, so I don't want to do that at the risk of missing out. Look at it, look left, they're selling rallies. You can see they rally, they make a new low, they rally, they make a new low, they rally. Will they make a new low? I'm asking. They've done it for months. Why is this time different? ARM, I sent out a long when it was in the 55 area. I bought shares and then it fell at 46, and I said I would add shares at 46. I missed my add mark. I got out, I forget where, 70s, maybe mid 60s sounds right. Anyway, I made money, like 25%, and I exited. I don't regret it. I'm not getting long here. I would wait for the next crash. It's a good company, but it's too high for me. BABA, I wouldn't touch it. It's too high, maybe, maybe not. It's rallying into a prior fail. Anything into 80 is a selling zone. So I copied this from prior behavior and said maybe it repeats itself, kind of, maneuvered a little bit. So look, pop, lower low, pop, lower low, pop, lower low. Maybe that's the same. I'll wait for them to prove it that it's not. BTBT, I think this is a Bitcoin. I'm not touching it because I showed you my Bitcoin hand and it played out perfectly. I'm not going to be late. I exited a lot of my Bitcoin or crypto trades. So I'm not sure why I would want to get engaged long here. Technically speaking, the stock is falling into support at 3.9, but this support is not very solid. So the better support is 3.4. Rallies into 4.8, I bet you will be met with heavy selling. We'll see. BWX, if you lose this support zone that from last week, you're going to end up at 74, maybe even lower into this. Sellers are scattered from 78 on up. BX is shortable. Okay, I'm not sure what that is. Why did we change windows? Okay. BX. Somebody transported us somewhere else. Okay, so BX is too high for my taste. Look at it. This bankish, and I don't know what it's rallying on. If you twist my arm, I would buy put spreads. I may be selling call spreads and buying put spreads. So I think sellers are everywhere between 132 and 148. And the buyers are somewhere on 116. So I would rather buy the dip. I'm not chasing it up here. Commercial real estate company. Ooh, I don't understand. What the hell? What is going on with commercial real estate? I know people in the business and they're scared crapless. And the market is brave as can be. Wow. If there is a crisis, it's probably in real estate somewhere, commercial or not. It's probably in the auto sector, repos and such. I'm not brave enough to short it, but I'm definitely not chasing it. Technically, it is a breakout from 86, so it could get to 106, but it's going to have to do it without me. And if it does, it's an exit point. Cracker Barrel, not a good spot to start, and it failed where it's supposed to fail. This 84 level has been contested, and it should present resistance, and it has. This dip is buyable, but I think it's going to get a little bit lower, and the bounce is that counts. When it bounces, will 80 be a lid, or can they get above 84? If they can get above 84, they probably get to 92. I vote against it, though. I think they might fail with their bounce, so be careful. I think the bounce will fail to make a higher high than last week. And that's the case, they're going to be at 68. Cigna. Let's zoom out. It's right in the middle. You have a lot of sellers above. I would not hold calls. You have a lot of buyers below, but there's a chasm. So I wouldn't mind holding a short position if you force me. But I don't know much about it, so I'm not going to trade it. But to buy a call right here, I'm assuming a lot of things. Coin. I've been very transparent about my crypto trade, and this was my exit point. How many times have you heard me say, I'll close my longs in Solana and BTO when we get to 42, 44 Bitcoin, right? When I said it and it was in the 20s, that sounded lunacy. And here we are at it. So now crypto, Bitcoin can fall to 35, 38. And if it does, it's a tradable, buyable dip, not an investment, tradable dip like any stock. And the pop from that dip varies. So if you're not an active trader, let it go, because then you will know if it's going to 60 or 70 or reverting lower. I don't know. We will see how the clues play out. I'm out of most of my crypto except for a core position, and I'm leaving those on. I have Ethereum, I have some Solana left, and some Ripple. I'm not selling my Ripple at all. I'm not selling my Ethereum. I crashed in Solana a big way, because and closed BTO like I said I would. So I'm mentioning this because this company's rally is completely based on that. The timing of it was that the actual market also made a new high. So what am I saying? I wouldn't trade coin. Now, if you give me the stock and you say, hey, trade the stock, I'll say I'll go long. Why? Because they're falling into the moving averages, and every time they do, they're moving it up and making a higher high. So the next question is, will they get to 160 or 180, 192 first? If they get into 190 first, they're probably going to go to 208. 190, if they get into higher high than Friday, they're probably going to get to 208. We'll see. Cisco, boring inside of a huge dip. So even though the company itself is not a problem, I wouldn't want to own calls. This is target 1 of 2. Target 2 is a little bit higher, somewhere around here where my cursor is. Here, sorry, 54. I wouldn't hold calls for that. I think it is in danger of, if the market hiccups, if it's in danger of doing this. And if it does that, it's in danger of losing this. And if it loses that, the downside scenario is pretty big. It's probably going to go here. Or here. 41. So that's the story with Cisco. Carvana, okay, so I'm looking for one thing. Look at this. It finally got here. The detour was a little bit stronger than anticipated. So I was completely against this company's survival. But now the spend is cooling down. I don't see a negative $2 to $3 billion in cash from operations. So maybe they don't need to borrow in order to exist. And if that's the case, they need to fix their margins. It's horrible. Buy the dip into 42 or 40, and there's a chance it collapses if the fundamentals don't improve. But they are making improvements, so I reserve judgment. I no longer hate it. I'm just very cautious. And CPS, I would be out if I had a problem trade. It's running into an area of resistance. One is at 82, one is at 88. I don't know where it's going to stop, but the stock was falling like it's going out of business, so I don't know why now it's different. Buy the dip into 74 makes sense. Okay, Deere. I know I mentioned the long opportunity against this prior base. I don't think I sent out, maybe I did send out an official trade. For some reason, I want to say yes. And if it worked, that's great. If it didn't, I wouldn't start one here. Target 1 is met. Target 2 is a little bit higher, but it's too close for me. If I wanted to get after target 2, which is at 415, I would buy the dip into 381 or 82. I don't know what this is. Enbridge, okay. It's a bearish setup. So the way I would play it is I would anticipate a dip down to 46 as long as they don't take out 49.50 and you have a seller at 48.50. So resistance at 48.50, and this is a stop out level up here somewhere. Otherwise it's going to 46. EVGO, not for me. I'm all about not this industry altogether. The bloom is coming off the flower, I think that's how they say it, of the EV. Now, I've been saying for years that there's no way the EVs are going to replace the internal combustion engine, and now the car manufacturer are starting to do that. Go find out what, for example, BMW is saying of late. Anyway, EVs are not the solution. They're just part of the solution, but they're not the replacement to the internal combustion engine. This one will be at $3 if it's not at 460 soon. All right, so this is video 1 of 3. Soon more to come.